I'm Debowy, and I'm one of the staff psychiatrists here at Student Mental Health and Counseling. My area of focus has over time come to be seeing people in the 16 to 36-year-old age range. It's not an official subspecialty of psychiatry, but it's recognized in mental health as sort of an emerging field. It's known as treating emerging adults. This is a phase of life that has only been defined by sociologists and mental health professionals in the last 25 years. It was partially invented to explain why my generation, Gen X, was so directionless after college, was trying out several jobs before landing on a particular career. And the idea is that even with people who are enrolled as undergrads or as grad students, that they're still questing about a little bit more than other past generations in the post-industrial age. That the idea might be that they might start working for Google and then switch over to Facebook and then switch over to Palantir and then eventually find a place where they belong, or they might start out doing very standard computer science sort of work in industry and then come back to academia and then hop back over to industry, or they might change their focus of their career entirely. And so, adolescence has been traditionally defined for over 100 years as figuring out who you are by participating in certain friend groups and certain school groups and picking up pieces of your own individual personality. And emerging adulthood is trying to, once you've figured out who you are, trying to find where you fit in the world. And the idea is that you could know who you are and still not know exactly where you're supposed to be for maybe even 10 or 20 years after you graduate college. And so I like working with people who are figuring that out. So I don't know how much the camera can pan around my office, but my office is a really good illustration of something about me. I don't know how hidden it is once students sit down in the office, but I have a shelf, like most mental health treaters, of neuroscience and mental health texts, magazines, including, without a title on it, my own PhD thesis in neuroscience. Then I have a shelf of interesting humanities books, and the shelf eventually transitions over into science fiction and fantasy books. And then I have a top shelf of comic books. Several of the pieces of artwork or knickknacks in my office are inspired by speculative fiction. I am a geek. It's part of the reason why I like working here. My wife looks at my meandering course to get here and says, it all made sense in the end. And I sometimes give lectures on campus. When I was a resident, and in the first year of being out of residency, I gave lectures at an academic track that's at several Comic-Cons, including the one at San Diego, where sociologists, anthropologists, mental health professionals talk about looking at comic books and science fiction through the lens of their profession. I give those kinds of talks on campus, often at random, where I'm the mental health liaison, but I've also twice now taught a short course during IAP on psychiatric themes in science fiction, fantasy, and comic books. And sometimes I'll take part in panels or give lectures elsewhere on campus. Students, lots of students here like talking about their favorite speculative fiction when they're here. They'll often do that so they don't have to talk about themselves. For those of you watching this video, I'm going to give you some advanced secret knowledge. I'm still listening to what they're talking about to reflect maybe some of their own conflicts. This is what professionals call talking about your own issues in displacement. So it's a little trick that I use. And I also learn about new comic books, new science fiction shows from students here. I found out that one of the professors here in the Haas department is a comic book writer, Marjorie Liu, and I've read both volumes of her ongoing work, Monstrous. I'm always listening with an open ear for new ideas.